Welcome to Enots Engineering, I'm Alan. In today's video we're in the workshop looking at knurling tools for the lathe. We have a look at 3 or 4 different types to see how they produce a knurl and what the finish looks like. So let's go into the workshop and see how we do it. These are a few of my knurling tools. Here there are 2 different types. With the lower ones you force the knurling tool into the material, which forms a knurl but also gives a lot of load on your headstock bearing. The upper ones are like a clamp type where you tighten this up and the wheels clamp onto the metal to produce the knurl. So let's put some into the lathe and see how they perform. Now I've tightened the knurling tool into the tool holder, and what I have to do now is adjust it so that the centre of the knurling tool is on centre line. And using a square, I set the tool square to the component. And if I come over to the part, start the lathe. I'm running at a slower speed than I would do for cutting. So turn this in. Now what I'm watching is my tool is just going to touch this bar here, so I'll start it up and I'll move my tool out slowly towards the tailstock. And now the tool won't touch the bar here. Turn it in a bit more. And then with a brush, just brush this knurling wheel to get the bits of swarf off. You see it's starting to form the knurl on there. Add a bit of oil to the tool. You can see the knurl forming. Wide it out, stop the part. You can see the knurl there. I think that's probably done actually. Just keep your knurling wheel clean so you're not compressing bits of brass that come off back into the knurl. You can see with that the knurl has formed all the way around. Now sometimes the knurl can't form because the diameter that you're trying to form the knurl on is not the right size, and by that I mean it doesn't correspond to the number of teeth on the knurling wheel, so you'll get a knurl that can't line up, so it looks very rough. Let's see if I can do it on the outside. See, it's starting to form the knurl. Keep the knurling wheel clean. Stop that now. Wind it back. And you can see that's formed the knurl on there. Straight knurl, and the teeth have all lined up. Now sometimes when you cut a knurl, it's a bit like a gear. If the diameter of the bar doesn't correspond to the number of teeth, then you won't cut a proper knurl, it'll look a mess. It needs to divide the number of teeth on here into your diameter so it gives you a clean knurl. Now this tool has 2 knurling wheels to give you a diamond cut knurl. So I'll just fit this one in. I've moved it a bit closer to the chuck, so we'll see whether that will cut on this. You can see there it's cutting on the right hand side of the knurling wheel. I'll just check the squareness of that. Just set it square to the part. I've just reduced the diameter slightly. And just by taking that little bit off the diameter, the number of knurls divide into the diameter correctly, and it's giving a better knurl. You can see on that knurl the cross. A little bit more. You can see here it's forming the cross. It's a better finish than the last one. And that's why sometimes you don't get a knurl form, because the diameter, it can't divide the number of teeth on your knurling tool into the diameter. So those are the knurling tools. They put a lot of load on your headstock because you're pushing that tool into the part. Now I'll look at a tool now where you have the clamp on top of the tool and it clamps down on the part. First of all, I'll take these knurls off. We can use the same piece of brass again. Now this time I'll set up this knurling tool. This has a diamond knurl, very fine, but the pressure you put on with the nut on the top here, and it clamps these together, so it's less pressure on your headstock. This time the knurling wheels go over the top of the diameter, and I adjust the knurl with the spanner on the top here. Start the knurling tool off, slow it down. Now both of the wheels are engaged, and on this one to tighten the knurl up, you just tighten the nut up on the top, move it from side to side. You can see the knurl on there is forming at the brush. That knurl is formed quite easily on that diameter. Now I'll go on to the other diameter and see if it will form as easy on that. Move the wheels over to the edge. Just tighten this up a bit more. You can see there that knurl's formed okay. A lot easier with the clamp type knurling. They don't put as much load on your headstock. That knurl here was done with this tool. A lot easier to form because you're not pushing your tool into the job, you're just clamping the two knurling wheels together, which forms the knurl. Less pressure on your headstock. This is the next one I'm setting up. This one is kit from Hemingway Kits. Just using the square on the chuck to square up the knurling tool. Wind the tool in. Tightening the two jaws up. I'm just putting the centre of the knurling tool on the centre of the part. It should do. And then all I have to do is tighten up these. If I go along, tighten it up a bit more, come back the other way. Just a bit more. You see the knurling wheel is a finer wheel. Slacken this off, move it off. You can see it's already cut the knurl there. So there's the different types of knurling tool. Now this was the knurling tool used. This is just a little release mechanism that just slackens the knurling rollers off so you can remove it from the part. Then when you go back on, you can just bring the lever back down again, tighten the knurling rollers, it closes this gap. Now this was the other knurling tool. This tightens the knurling wheels up. You don't have a quick release or anything, so you just have to undo that nut there to slacken the wheels off. That knurling tool did the diamond shaped knurl. It's a very rough knurl, and that requires a lot of pressure to form that knurl with this tool. And the first knurling tool, this one, is just one wheel which you force into the workpiece. Now this tool is actually made from a lathe cutting tool, just had a slit put in the end, drilled through the side, nut and bolt through. Oh well, that's it for today. Hope that was interesting, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Enots Engineering.